Hi friends, you may have heard some rumors, some discussion, some talk about some changes that are being proposed for the administrative system here at United Methodist Temple. Now change can be a scary word, but change can also mean some opportunity to do things a little better, some opportunity to improve the way that we get along with each other and that we conduct the business of the church. So today, I wanted to take just a moment to alleviate some of the fears and concerns that I've heard amongst you, amongst all of our friends out there. And I want to maybe inspire just a bit you with some of the possibilities and some of the opportunities that we see with changing a few things at Temple the way we do them. Our church, like every church, is challenged right now. Here we're in a time of transition. The world in front of us isn't anything like the one behind us. Temple's current organizational structure was created to maintain stability. It was created to keep us moving along really at about the same paces as we did when it was put together years ago. What we really need right now is adaptive leadership. We need to adapt to the things that are changing around us. We need to adapt to a new generation. And it's up to us to adapt to these conditions and to move on to a stronger future while keeping the main thing. That is, keeping us making disciples. Right now, we have somewhere around 140, 150 in worship on any given Sunday, whereas about 20 years ago, we had about 400. And about 7 or 8 years ago, we had about 700. Well, COVID, age, time, other issues have brought us to where we are now. No use in really rehashing those. But our management structure was created when the post office here in Beckley sorted our mail. Some of us still had party lines for telephone. Now we have meetings on Zoom, and some of you might be sitting there in a snazzy polo shirt while your bunny slippers are under the table. Some of you might be sitting out at the cabin somewhere and claiming that you're at your kitchen table. Times have changed, and we've got to adjust with them. You know, it takes us about 4 to 8 weeks to make most substantive decisions here at Temple. A lot of those could be made in a week, maybe in one meeting. So we need to do something to move along a little faster, to move along and be more efficient and to release some of our resources, one of those resources being time, for other uses. Now that's where the single board system comes in. You'll hear a lot about the single board system. The single board system is one that's set up to try and streamline some of the decision making. Several of the folks here at Temple, committee chairs and some other leaders, came together several months ago and started talking about what do we need to do, how do we need to do it in order to improve things here at Temple and to make them work better. Some of us even started looking at this system a couple of years ago. We've experimented a little bit, but we see where we need to move further. So we went to council back in May and said, we have some ideas here, nothing new, just some things that we may be able to adapt to make things work better. Council voted to allow us to take the time to try a new perspective and to work on a new single board system. we're going to make a report to Council on August 15. At that time, we'll talk about the conclusions we've come to from all of our discussions, our prayer, our study, traveling to Fairmont to listen to others, contacting people in other churches, looking on the internet, seeing what kind of experiences other people have had with this kind of system. The single board system will be comprised probably of about 9 to 12 church members who will come together to form PPR, finance, trustees, and church council. Those people will make the decisions that church council and those committees now make. But they'll do them more quickly because they'll all be in the same room, they can all hear the same discussion, and they can all work together, study together, and pray together to come to the best decisions that we can for Temple. And when they need help, they can call on specialists, or they can come to some of the deep, deep bench that we've got in Temple, in our congregation, some of the specialists and the knowledgeable people that we have that we can call in and say, would you work on this one problem for us a little bit? Come back and talk with us, and then we can make better decisions. So those small work groups will handle some issues and do them in a very quick manner. When the decisions are made more quickly, then we can move forward and do what we need to do. Now, this single board system may leave some of our congregation freer. It will leave many freer because they won't have to attend meetings. They won't have to wait as long for decisions on some of the things that we need to do here at Temple. It gives them the opportunity to work on mission work, on outreach, inside and outside the church. I'll give you an example of where this won't have much effect. That'll be people like the Altar Guild, like, for example, the Kitchen Committee, maybe the Saw Ministry, the children's ministries. Those groups won't be directly affected by the change in administrative methods, but what it will do is it will give them answers, support, both material and otherwise, so that they can continue and complete their missions in a more efficient and timely manner. It gives us the opportunity for more of our congregation to be in service and to be in mission work. That is, to be Christ's feet and hands outside this building. Now, the single board system isn't a magic bullet. It's not the silver bullet to fire and take care of all of our issues and problems. But what it will do is it will free up resources. The biggest resource it will free up is time. And the talent that we have here in our congregation that can do so much more, both inside and outside this building. The single board system is more accountable. Instead of looking at 45 or 50 people in 4 different committees, if you've got a concern or an issue, you'll have 9 to 12 that you can talk to, any one of whom should be very familiar with whatever the issue might be and have the opportunity to address it much more quickly. Now, the single board method has nothing whatsoever to do with any of the denominational problems that you might be reading about or might be concerned with. It has nothing to do with those. It's simply how we do things here at Temple. Lastly, and one of the really important things is, this should help us improve communications. It should allow us to communicate quicker, more succinctly, and be more responsive to the needs of our congregation. Now, the next steps are to present a proposal to the church council on August 15th. Now, if church council approves this, it will go on to a church conference. Now, the church conference is something that church council will have to ask the district superintendent to convene. It takes 2 weeks' notice. It takes the resolution that would cause all this to happen to be distributed for everybody to read ahead of time. We'll have some discussion ahead of time, answer questions, and be able to take a good hard look at it before we convene. When we come together here in the sanctuary, those people who will be eligible to speak and vote are those church members who are present. There's no absentee ballots. There's no one person voting for another person. It's simply those present and voting. The meeting will be conducted by the district superintendent. And each temple member who is present may speak, listen, and vote according to their conscience and what they think is best for temple. If this resolution passes, the new single board system would take effect at the start of 2024. With that will come a lot of new opportunities to take advantage of the time we save and the talent that can be put in other places and other uses. Our nominations committee is already working very hard to understand that this nominations and election process will be a little different, because instead of trying to fill 45 or 50 or 55 places, we're looking to fill 9 to 12 and then release a lot of folks into ministry work. I trust each of you will prayerfully consider, in the light of our needs and our challenges, what we need to do. This, I believe, is a way for us to better serve our community and to be Easter people in that Good Friday world that's all around us. His peace to you all.